There's a certain kind of person who doesn't just listen to what's being said, they notice what isn't. They walk into a room, and before a single conversation finishes, something inside them has already mapped the emotional landscape. A smile that lingers a second too long, a voice that sounds steady but feels slightly off, a pause that carries more meaning than the words themselves. While others move through the moment effortlessly, they're already seeing beneath it. And people love to call this intuition a gift, a sign of high intelligence. But what most don't realize is that this level of perception often comes with a cost that's hard to explain and even harder to live with. Because when you see too much, you lose the luxury of taking things at face value. Conversations stop being simple. Relationships stop feeling light. Every interaction carries layers, and your mind doesn't have an off switch. It keeps scanning, comparing, analyzing. Not because you want it to, but because it learned to. Psychology suggests that this ability is not magic. It's a combination of rapid pattern recognition and sensitivity to incongruence. Your brain is constantly comparing what people say with how they say it. Tone, posture, microexpressions, tiny signals that most people miss entirely. Research by psychologists like Paul Ekman shows that these microexpressions can reveal genuine emotions in fractions of a second. And for someone highly perceptive, that information doesn't just pass by. It registers instantly. But here's where it becomes complicated. It's one thing to notice inconsistency. It's another to understand what it means. When perception combines with deep emotional insight, you don't just see that something is off, you start to see why. You begin to recognize insecurity behind arrogance, fear behind anger, and validation seeking behind confidence. And while that might sound like an advantage, it quietly changes how you experience people. So over time, you stop saying what you see. You start filtering yourself, not because you're unsure, but because you already know how it will be received. The second trap is more internal and more exhausting. When your brain is trained to detect hidden meaning, it doesn't stop at other people. It turns inward. Every message, every delay, every small shift becomes something to interpret. A late reply isn't just a late reply. It becomes distance. A change in tone isn't just a change in tone. It becomes a signal. Your mind starts building narratives faster than reality can confirm them. Psychologically, this is linked to something called confirmation bias, the tendency to search for patterns that validate what you already suspect. And when combined with high awareness, it creates a loop that's difficult to break. You're not just observing anymore. You're predicting, anticipating, trying to stay one step ahead of disappointment. And then comes the third trap, the emotional weight. When you understand people deeply, you often end up carrying things they don't even realize they're showing. You notice the stress behind someone's confidence, the sadness behind someone's humor, the tension behind someone's silence. And without realizing it, you start adjusting yourself. You soften your tone. You choose your words carefully. You become easier to be around, more understanding, more accommodating. But here's the part no one talks about. The more you understand others, the less people tend to question you. You become the one who gets it, the one who listens, the one who adapts. And slowly, you disappear from your own experience. So what's the way out of this? It's not about seeing less. That's not realistic. You can't turn off a mind that's trained to notice detail. The shift comes from changing what you do with what you see. The first step is learning selective attention. Not every detail deserves your focus. Just because you notice something doesn't mean you need to analyze it. Let some things pass without meaning. The second is separating observation from assumption. Not everything you detect is a problem. Sometimes a pause is just a pause. A quiet moment doesn't always carry a hidden message. Giving space to neutral explanations reduces the mental load. And the third, probably the hardest, is allowing uncertainty. You don't need to predict every outcome to protect yourself. In fact, trying to do that is what creates the exhaustion in the first place. Letting go of control, even slightly, allows you to experience moments as they are instead of what they might become. Because real balance isn't about losing awareness. It's about not letting awareness take over your life. And if you've recognized yourself somewhere in this, then you already understand something most people don't. The ability to see deeply isn't the problem. It's learning when to step back from what you see that changes everything. If this gave you a new way to understand your own mind, stay with the channel. There's a lot more we're going to unpack.